You're watching TVC News. Zimbabwe's former Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa will be sworn in as president on Friday after the resignation of Robert Mugabe. Mugabe resigned as Zimbabwe's president on Tuesday, a week after the army and his former political allies moved to end his 37-year rule. And now we have reports that Mugabe negotiated with the military to have immunity from prosecution as a condition for resignation. On Skype to discuss this is a global affairs policy analyst, Nweke. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Gucci, for having me.
And now many people would have expected that Robert Mugabe might get punished for what they say is crimes against Zimbabweans. Did you expect that he would get immunity?
Well, I think if Zimbabweans are going to have a way of moving forward, and if the sacrifice that they are going to make or the price they are going to pay is giving Robert Mugabe immunity in exchange for Zimbabwe moving forward, it's probably not a very huge price to pay. But I think the open question remains, is Zimbabwe as a nation state going to move forward under this arrangement? If the answer is yes, I want to maintain that it will not be a huge price to pay, even though one would consider it a pity.
Let's remember that these are still allegations for now. These reports are yet to be confirmed that he actually negotiated to get immunity. But that being clarified, what will be the impact of this to other African countries where the citizens feel they're being suppressed and restricted by their leaders? Is this an encouragement for the leaders to also peacefully transit power?
Yes, I think it sends a pretty bad signal to other despots, other dictators who just feel that they can trample on the people, trample on their constitution, and just do as they please together with their families, and then ultimately be able to get away with such nonsense. Like I said, it sends a very, very bad signal. But at the same time, I think it's also important to look forward in terms of, what would be a better deal for the country, what would be in the best interest of the country, rather than being immersed in, some crisis that they do not have any inkling on how to get out of it. So I think it's a matter of which will be the best choice for the best interest of the country. But yeah, one point remains clear, and that is the fact that this sort of a situation sends a very bad signal going forward.
Now, many have said that the military did this selfishly. That's to say, many months ago, Joyce was asked to leave the party and the government, and nothing like this happened. And now Mnangagwa was asked to leave, and the military decided to come to the streets to do this and to get Mugabe out of office. Do you think the military might have acted selfishly because they're friends of their friends, Mnangagwa, and not just because of Zimbabweans? Yeah,
there is definitely, something fishy here that makes one to begin to think that this might not all be very much in the best interest of the people of Zimbabwe. Rather, that, some unholy alliance between the military and Mr. Mugabe is, I hope I got his name correctly, Mnangagwa Emmerson, that is actually what is, unfolding here. Now, I think something else that we need to worry about is the fact that the former vice president, who is now the president in waiting, it has always been an accomplice in all the crimes that Mugabe is to be found, guilty of, because he has been an ally, he has been there, and all of a sudden, alliances changed and allegiance changed in terms of him now colluding with the military, to hold the country again, in ransom. Now, one can only hope that his role his mission for the rest of the period that, ex-President Mugabe was supposed to be in power is actually to enthrone, the rule of law, get in a government of, national unity, and ensure that there is going to be a free and fair, multi-party election. One will hope that that will be his mission. Otherwise, I think whatever offense that President Mugabe would have committed, that he is an accomplice in all of that.
And with all these controversies and counter allegations, what are your concerns after Friday when Mnangagwa takes over?
My concern is that the greatest, there are, numerous concerns, but I think the crucial concern is that it might end up being business as usual. To be honest with you, I do not know that if we cannot trust Mugabe, and indeed, Mugabe couldn't be trusted anymore, to lead the country going forward. I wonder why, we can trust Mnangagwa Emerson to now be the one to be trusted when all of these years, 37 years in total that they have been in power, he has been around. All of the issues that took place, all of the mismanagement and the crisis and all of that, he has been part of all of that. So one would wonder if this is not a new wine in an old bottle. That appears to be the situation that Zimbabwe is now facing.
We look forward to see what happens in the future. But let's look at the relations between Zimbabwe and the West. And of course, Britain has to be part of this. Now, Theresa May has come out to say that Zimbabwe is welcome to rejoin the international community. And we know Mugabe had these issues with the West. And do you think Emerson might continue with these relations with the West? Or do you think they might just go in and hug Britain and maybe make things change between Zimbabwe and Britain?
I think the best approach for the West to take at this moment is a wait-and-see approach. I think it's a bit too early in the day to, warmly welcome Emerson into the fold of the international community just on the basis that a change has taken place. No, we do not know that Zimbabwe is going to move from point A to point B under Emerson. I think, he needs to be watched. We need to see which direction he wants to take Zimbabwe to and, really earn the trust before that trust is given to him. So I do not believe that a hasty welcome to Emerson is the right approach for Zimbabwe. He needs to be watched and in his own, merit.
All right, we'll share your hopes, Collins Nweke. Thank you very much for your time with us here on TVC News Hour.
Thank you for having me.